I ran 3 back-to-back tests on this M3 Ultra. After the first one finished, my honest reaction was simple. This is fast. A short reasoning task reached 95.1 tokens per second, with almost no perceived wait. Switched to long-form writing though, and it dropped to 45.4. The peak screenshot looks great, but the workstation still has to survive the work I actually do. Here's the machine first, an M3 Ultra with a 32-core CPU and 256 GB of unified memory. The main model was Qwen3.8-27B, served locally through OMLX on port 8000. D-Flash 2 was enabled, with the draft model quantized to 4-bit at runtime and ANE handling prefill. Both MTP and visual MTP were disabled for every formal run in this test. My biggest concern in this round was testing the wrong model again, because an identifier collision had already happened once. So I checked the requested model ID, the resolved model path, and the completion logs. All three agreed and the service exposed only one main model. The client was Pi fixed at medium reasoning. All 3 runs were read-only, no model reload, no cache clear, and all 3 settings, file hashes stayed unchanged. That means every number from here on is a warm service result. Cold start and the first ANE compilation are outside this test. I did not want one arithmetic prompt to produce 95 and then call the benchmark finished. After short reasoning, I reviewed concurrent Python code, generated roughly 1500 Chinese characters of long-form text, and ran a tool task where Pi read a file before the model summarized it. I finished with a fixed long context containing 9,406 input tokens. Put the 3 round medians side by side and the workload effect is obvious. Short reasoning delivered 95.1 tokens per second, with 4.167 seconds end-to-end. Code review delivered 59.2 tokens per second in 14.919 seconds. Long-form writing fell to 45.4 with a median of 28.345 seconds. The file reading tool task reached 63.8 tokens per second and finished in 16.256 seconds. With 9,406 input tokens, Pi's median wall time was 22.842 seconds. So before asking whether the system is fast, ask a more useful question. What are you actually asking it to do? Now look at D-Flash acceptance. It was 87% for short reasoning, 64.9% for code review, and 54.1% for long-form writing. Arithmetic has a narrow answer path, so the draft model can keep guessing correctly. Code and prose branch more, which sends more draft tokens back during verification. An acceptance rate is only part of the bill. Drafting, verification, replay, and commit all take time. In the current run, the draft path used 4-bit runtime quantization. In an earlier non-4-bit run, short reasoning code review and long-form writing measured 62.7, 50.8, and 35.7 tokens per second. The current 3-run medians are higher, but the 2 groups came from different dates. The earlier figures came from 1 run, and the remaining conditions were not strictly paired. I'm keeping that as a historical observation. These results cannot isolate how much of the gain came from 4-bit alone. I went back and retested caching specifically. The first turn contained 2,615 input tokens, and cache read was 0. After the tool returned its result, the logical context grew to 4,948 tokens, 2,282 needed fresh computation, while 2,666 came directly from cache. The cache hit count was identical across all 3 runs, and the server reported no save failures. This time, prefix reuse was definitely happening. What I did not run was a cache-disabled control, so I'm not claiming a speed-up percentage. For the long context case, I separated prefill from the rest. D-Flash logged 21.055, 21.104, and 21.084 seconds. The median was 21.084 seconds. Divide 9,406 tokens by that time, and the effective input rate is about 446.1 tokens per second. ANE was enabled, but I did not run an ANE off control. So 446.1 describes the complete configuration, not ANE by itself. The third long-form run also produced a very visible tail, 60.467 seconds. That run triggered multiple completions and generated 1,686 tokens in total. I left that range in the results. The headline remains the 28.345 second median, but the slow run is still there. Based on the evidence I have, I would keep D-Flash 2 4-bit runtime draft quantization and ANE as the everyday agent configuration on this M3 Ultra. Short reasoning is fast. Prefix reuse works across 2 turns. Code review runs at 59.2 tokens per second, and long-form writing at 45.4. For my daily work, that is practical. On this machine, with this service, that is where I would start for daily agent work. If you are benchmarking a local model, do not copy somebody else's peak number. Break out the tasks you actually run every day and test them one by one. Then identify where the time goes: input processing, token generation, or tool round trips. These numbers describe local service speed. They do not measure model capability. Cold start ANE disabled and cache disabled are still untested. I am leaving the conclusion inside that boundary.